Today on Rainbow Gaming Matt, we talk about Super Mario Bros. 35th Anniversary, surprising and disappointing. Hi everyone, Matt here, and it's been a while since I've done a video. Been kind of busy, had some issues to take care of the last few weeks, but I'm back, hoping to get back onto my regular schedule. Also, new room configuration. So first of all, if everything looks a little weird first, with the lighting and the sound, please excuse that for this video. I'm still working on the fixing up the room as I record new videos. Obviously, today, big news from Nintendo, and it's something that I wanted to talk about here, and that is the big announcement of the Super Mario Brothers 35th anniversary package of games and celebrations was finally announced last night in a, I guess you could say, surprise Nintendo mini direct. It was the Super Mario Brothers anniversary direct. People kind of knew it was happening this week. There was a lot of rumors coming about that was going to come out this week, and even I was expecting it to happen last night. I was looking at like around 9 o'clock Japanese time for the video to show up. It didn't end up showing up around 10 o'clock. So I was kind of expecting it yesterday. And the news we got is very, very interesting news, and it's very cool to talk about because there's a lot of good here, and unfortunately there's a lot of frustration here. And I was really debating whether to talk about this stuff because I was even working on a video recently where I was talking about there's too much negativity in the game world, and there's too much talking about negative things only, and I didn't want to really kind of push that so much. But there's some issues that I do want to talk about, and I think it's important to point out problems and issues and things that shouldn't happen in gaming. And I think that Nintendo has taken some very odd and strange steps for them, even though some of them have some precedent in the past with the announcements last night. But very much some announcements that I just have to get off my chest. I think is the wrong decision, and I think that it's the wrong decision from a consumer standpoint and from a fan standpoint. Maybe not from a financial standpoint, but definitely from a fan standpoint. Now, obviously, we've heard a lot of issues with anti-consumerism with Nintendo lately, especially with Pikmin 3 being removed from the Wii U store after it was announced for the Switch. That didn't bug me so much because I don't think there were many people out there in the world who are like waiting to buy Pikmin 3 on the Wii U store. It's still a bad move, no doubt about it, but I didn't think it was that big of a deal. But the things they announced last night, I think, are very bad, and they need to be pointed out, and Nintendo needs to be called out for it. So first, let's talk about the good stuff. Nintendo had a lot of announcements last night for the Super Mario franchise for its 35th anniversary. One of the things they announced, they're bringing out a new Game & Watch that will be of the original Super Mario Brothers game. And as we all know, Nintendo's first forays into video gaming, one of the first forays, not the very first, but one of them, was the Game & Watch series. It's a fantastic portable system that used LCD graphics. Obviously, those graphics were very primitive at the time, but the games were so much fun. Well, now they've brought back that design, but this time they've put in a Famicom NES game with Super Mario Brothers. It looks pretty nice. It looks like a really cool little trinket. I think it's going to be a very popular toy because obviously it's the Game & Watch. But I don't think I'll be getting it myself because it is an extra expense right now that I don't want to go into. And I already own Super Mario Bros. So many more times than I ever want to. I don't think I need another one in the Game & Watch version when I can play it on my Switch. But I still think that was a really cool announcement. The second cool announcement they made that kind of blew me away was a Mario Kart announcement. Now, I'm going to say something right now. Mario Kart, not a big fan of Mario Kart. Never really liked the series. Can't believe I say that because everyone loves it, but I really don't like it. But what they announced last night was really cool. It's a Mario Kart game from the Switch that uses real RC cars from Mario, like Mario and Luigi cars. They have cameras on them. They connect to the Switch wirelessly, and you use these gates that you can set up in certain ways and make a course in your house, and then you play the game by driving the course in your house on the Switch using the cameras, and they have augmented reality enemies to fight. It looks so cool. It looks like something that I would want to play. I love when Nintendo and the people that work with them make games like this, make these interesting new innovations and interesting new little trinkets. I think it looks pretty cool. It's something I would love to get for my kids and myself. My kids love Mario Kart, and I would love to play the game with them. So it's something I'm going to look into in the future. Obviously, it's supposed to be coming out, I think, in October. They said they didn't have a price, so I'm expecting it's probably going to be very expensive for everything. But still, I thought it looked really, really neat, and I love when Nintendo does things like that, quirky stuff like that. We also got, of course, the announcement that Super Mario Brothers All Stars, which was the Super Nintendo slash Super Famicom collection of the original four Super Mario Brothers games: Super Mario Brothers 1, Super Mario Brothers 2, the USA version, Super Mario Brothers 2, the Japanese version known as the Lost Levels in the West, and Super Mario Brothers 3 with updated graphics for the time. That game is now going to be available on the Nintendo Online service through the Super Famicom slash SNES app. And it's going to be available for free, just like all the other games are if you are a Nintendo Online member. This was a game, of course, that was released on the Wii on a disc for full price, and it was just a ROM. And a lot of people didn't like that. And I'm going to be coming back to that in a minute because I think it's very important to talk about my issues with some of the announcements last night. But I think it's really cool they're bringing that game out so people can play that. I only played a little bit of that game when it came out. I rented it like from a Blockbuster Video, but I always preferred the originals. But I think I might give it another shot this week and just like play it for fun and see if what I think of it. They also announced what we expected, of course, regarding the Super Mario 3D World, the Nintendo Wii U game that was one of the best games on the Wii U and one of the best Mario games out there, is getting a Switch port, and it's going to come with extra features, some sort of Bowser levels or something like that. And that game is coming out in February. Word was that it might be coming out this year, but it looked like it was going to be delayed because of the virus. Well, it is coming out in February of next year, and I think that's really cool. I think it's awesome that we're getting that game brought to the Switch. It was one of the best Wii U games, and obviously a lot of people that had a Wii U had it, but there's a lot of people. There's more people that have a Switch, so there's a chance for this game to grow in popularity. If you've never played it, I absolutely highly recommend it. I have a feeling that this game, like Pikmin 3 and the Donkey Kong game that came out on the Switch, it's probably been removed from the Wii U shop in the last 24 hours, I'm sure, but who knows? And I know that there'll probably be a lot of anti-consumerism arguments about that one. But for me, the two announcements that really I was the most excited for and most happy for, and then most disappointed with, is the announcements of course, the game we all expected and a game that we didn't even know was coming. Now let's talk about the game we didn't know was coming. That's Super Mario Bros. 35, a Battle Royale game, just like the Tetris Battle Royale game that is available on the Nintendo Online service. It's going to be available on the Nintendo Online service. It's you versus, I believe, 35 other different people playing Super Mario Brothers levels, and you're battling the other guys in the game. You're battling the other people around the world. Looks interesting. Looks great. I was like, okay, I'm in. The Tetris game was fantastic. This looks pretty interesting. I'm all in. I was all in until the end of the announcement, where they announced that the game would be available on October 1st and would be available to play only until March 31st. Yes, this game has a limited time play situation. It's going to be gone after March 31st. And I literally went from, I'm going to download this and play it on day one, to probably never playing this game. I'm seriously thinking of never playing this game. I do not like the idea of Nintendo bringing a game and saying, oh, you can only play it for 3 months or 6 months. That's a horrible thing. I really hate that. I just think it's a boneheaded decision. It makes no sense to me why people would waste their time playing this game when they know they can't play it much longer. And as someone like me who does like physical games, because I like to have games to play in the future, and I don't want to worry about the digital situations, I think this is a terrible move. I think it's horrible. And I was like, okay, this is probably the worst thing they're going to do. But then they made another blunder with their final big announcement, and that was the long-awaited, expected announcement of Super Mario 3D Collection / Super Mario 3D All-Stars. And this is the collection of 3 great classic 3D Mario games. The original Super Mario 64, the classic, wonderful game that we all know and love from the Nintendo 64. Super Mario Sunshine, the GameCube game that has sort of been a polarizing game in the fandom for years. It wasn't really as much loved as a lot of the other games in the series because, of course, it was on the GameCube, which was a smaller fan base. And it just kind of came and went really quickly. Even I've never played it. I want to play it. So that's a great selection, or great addition. And finally, Super Mario Galaxy, which is a fantastic Wii game, a fantastic Mario 3D game that's a lot of fun. And those three games come together. They will come out in 2 weeks, which is a nice surprise. They literally said, yes, it's coming out in 2 weeks. Coming out in 2 weeks. I think it's like 6,500 yen or 6,000 yen, and it's like $60. There's a lot of people complaining about the price. They complain about the price because, they just put the games on the disc and just release it again at high price. There is some things that have been done to make the games look a little better. Like, I know there's been resolution bumps on Super Mario 64. Super Mario Sunshine, I believe, is in 69 mode now. And Super Mario Galaxy has full use of the... you have to use the Wii controllers, not the Wii controllers, I'm sorry, the Joy-Cons for the Switch, not the Wii controllers. That's silly. And that means it's going to be a game hard to play on, of course, in the Lite, because the Nintendo Switch Lite, you can't take off the Joy-Cons because there are no Joy-Cons. You're going to have to buy Joy-Cons separately to play that game. But there was two things that bugged me about this announcement. Number one, no Super Mario Galaxy 2. No Super Mario Galaxy 2 at all. That is boneheaded strange to me. And one of the reasons that that's boneheaded strange to me is all the years I've heard that Galaxy was so big they actually split it up into 2 games. And I don't know how true that was, but definitely Galaxy 2 has always been connected to Galaxy 1 more than just by being a sequel, but it's almost like the second half of the original game in many people's eyes. And that game is very well regarded as a classic, and it's nowhere on this collection. And I think that, Super Mario 64, there's only Super Mario 64. Super Mario Sunshine, there's only Super Mario Sunshine. But Galaxy, there's Galaxy 2, and to not include that is really strange to me. It's a boneheaded decision, and I think it's a wrong decision. And I'm disappointed by that. I think that should have been there. And I thought, okay, well, that's the worst news. Well, no, it gets even worse. Just like the Battle Royale game, this collection, both digitally and physically, not just physically, digitally and physically, will only be available until March 31st, and then it is gone. This is something that I absolutely do not understand what Nintendo is trying to do. They're going the route of the Disney Vault. We release the classics, but you can only have them for a short time, and then we're putting them back in the vault. It is a strange move. It's obviously a move to get people to buy that game quickly because they know they're not going to be able to have a chance to buy it after a certain date. It's going to raise the price of this game ridiculously once it's off sale. And it's just going to limit the amount of people who can play it in the long run. Not everyone's going to buy this game this fall. Obviously not everyone's big collectors. They have a lot of money. They can buy every game they want. Some people probably have already got money put aside for some of the other games. So this is a game that could end up getting passed on. Now, Nintendo, of course, has precedent on this. They did this with the Super Mario All-Stars game on the Wii. It was a limited run type of game. Not limited run as a company, but, limited in, production. Games like this do happen. But this seems just weird to me. It's just to only have this game available for 6 months, especially digitally, it's just a kick in the stomach to all people out there, all fans and to consumers alike. I think it's a very bad decision, and it really has soured this, plus the announcement about the Battle Royale game. It really sours me on this whole announcement of Mario stuff. I honestly, right now, it's very difficult for me to buy a lot of new games over the next few months. It's not impossible, but it's very difficult because of my own current situations. And this was a game that I would love to buy, but there's no guarantee I'm going to be able to buy it by March. And I'm definitely not going to pay the ridiculous amounts of money that's going to come out with this game after March, and people start selling it at high prices. It's a dumb move. It's extremely anti-consumer. And you know what? I didn't mind the Pikmin 3 thing. It didn't really bug me that they removed it off the Wii U store. I was like, who cares? It's not that big of a deal. It's anti-consumerist, yes, but I just didn't care. This I care. This I think is really wrong. I don't like it in video when they do it like Disney does it. I don't like it in any other places in the world of like games and memorabilia and all that stuff. I don't like limited stuff anymore. I like the idea that a game should be available, and I'm sorry, especially digitally. I can understand you only want to make a small amount physically. You want to make it like a very special release, that's fine. But digitally, there's no reason to limit that game digitally. Absolutely ridiculous, absolutely stupid. And Nintendo, I I predicted earlier this year when I was doing a podcast with my friends, which we unfortunately haven't been able to do in many months. I had predicted this year that Nintendo was going to shock us with a lot of big announcements that we weren't expecting. That was my big prediction for this year. I thought Nintendo was going to really shock us with a whole bunch of announcements. And honestly, they have, but not in the way I expected. I expected more crazy games that we didn't know about. I expected some really big surprises and releases. But instead, we're getting a lot of these announcements of things, a lot of remasters, remakes. I love those things, but hardly any new games. And there's always something that's been bugging each release. And that's really makes me disappointed. I think that especially when you look at what's coming out this fall, yes, this is a great game. It's a great collection. It's worth it if you've never played these games. But I just don't like this practice of Nintendo. And it really disappoints me. And I'm not alone. A lot of people feel the same way. Anyway, those are my views on the announcement. Nintendo, I think they had a really good show last night for the most part. But it was definitely soured by some really boneheaded business decisions. And hey, I'm not a business guy. I'm sure that they're going to be making a lot of bank. A lot of people are going to buy this game, but still, it's really, I think it's the wrong move right now for Nintendo. I think it's the wrong move for fans, and I hope Nintendo rethinks these decisions. But we know Nintendo; they don't usually do that. Well, anyway, those are just my feelings. If you have a different feeling or you agree, definitely talk about it in the comments. Hit that like button if you like, and dislike is okay as well. And please subscribe. I hope you enjoy my videos. I'm going to be back in full blast as soon as possible. Sorry again for not being out there, but if you've been enjoying my videos, there's more to come. Until then, this has been Matt, Reiwa Gaming Matt. Take care. This has been another video from Reiwa Gaming Matt. Don't worry. We'll still be making videos after March 31st, unlike Mario Collections.